evening, everyone. My name is Pamela Toussaint, and I'm the Associate State Director of Advocacy and Community Outreach for AARP in the Virgin Islands, and I am joined with some fabulous ladies with me this evening. You want to go ahead and introduce yourselves? Because we're not,
Okay.
go from there.
My name is Yvonne Benjamin David. I am from the U.S. Virgin Islands, but I do live in Atlanta. I come home every year for Carnival. I am the owner, one of the owners, there are four of us, of the Water Party Carnival Troup.
And I am Vida Elise, and I am one of the members of Water Party Carnival Troup. It's 4 members, 3 ladies, 1 guy.
So a well-rounded group of individuals, some near and some far, but we definitely come back home to celebrate our culture, our heritage, and what makes us unique being Virgin Islanders, which is What a Party. So this is exciting for me, it's exciting for AARP, because this is our first time actually sponsoring a troupe, and I was saying earlier that we actually ended up picking the best troupe to come up the road we actually picked the best troupe to come up the road for the first time, and I was explaining to Ms. Elise that this is definitely not going to be the last that we're working with this group, and so far it's been a wonderful experience, and we are definitely looking forward for Saturday when like I said, we're coming up the road. AARP will be featured, so book to AARP. But I think it will be important for folks to kind of just learn about what a party. I mean, the name in itself says it all. But I know it didn't just start there, and there's a reason and saying behind the name and how it got started. So if you want to tell us a little bit about that, that would be great.
Okay, so the name What a Party, it was originated where we were all members of Fun Lovers Carnival Troup. That was, older Carnival Troup. And we all branched off for the 6th year.
Yes.
So we all branched off and we formed our own troupe. Now the name came, because we had one member, he passed on now, that was Moose Hendricks. And every time we reached the troop leader port, he would yell out, "What a party." So that's where it originally came from. So when we branched out for the 6th year, we carried the name with us.
And I see you have some amazing costumes. I'm trying to see if I can fit into 1 or 2. I may need to combine them in order for me to be able to come up the road, which that might be something. I'm working on that. Vida doesn't know that as yet. I'm working on that. So when you see me up on the road, don't be nervous. You know what I'm saying? I mean, have to show a thing or 2. But I see you have a wonderful, very colorful, very bright, vibrant set of costumes. So if you want to kind of just tell us this year's theme, because I know every year, the troops usually come up with a particular team. So give us a little bit of background as to what the Predators are, VI for this year, and pretty much how it evolved into what it is. Your 400 plus members that are coming up, is that correct?
Yes.
Wow, what a party! Okay, and the road to Charlotte Kamali. So tell us a little bit about the costumes.
So our costume, and Nancy right here, of course, it's a spider, and we try to go with the Division of Festival team, but sometimes we branch off on our own, which this is one of the time. We wanted certain colors, so we started with the color, and then we added the name to it.
Nice.
So we wanted, orange is one of the color, and Nancy. Right here, if you can look at it, you will see, like the lion look of the costume. So this is Era, and this one is Aria. And as you see, it's like the eagle.
The eagle, okay, good.
Yes.
Okay.
So we are doing a little coverage shot. The hero is actually the wolf.
The wolf.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so Era is the wolf.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And the wolf is right there. So.
Because we wanted a lion in there. But
Okay.
we
Yes,
decided to
but we got the wolf. Yes.
Okay. I mean, I'm thinking about Anansi, and I mean, as Virgin Islanders, we all know the Anansi story.
Yes.
That's part of our heritage. So it was interesting to see Anansi come alive in a whole different, concept. So that, I'm really glad that you were able to bring in that element of Virgin Islands culture and something that's very true and dear to us, the Anansi stories, because I think all of us grew up, hearing about, Anansi and the stories behind of that. So kudos to you and whoever came up with that idea. It's good to be able to blend kind of like the old and the new, and the not so old and the not so new. And I think that also brings it back to why, AARP wanted to do this, to be a sponsor and to support What a Party. In our earlier conversation, the first question was, who are we in terms of AARP? Everybody thinks of us as for old people, and I get it. But as you can see, Ain't nothing all about these three here.
No,
Nothing
no.
all about, and ain't nothing all about what's happening on Saturday.
Everything is new.
But for us, we really wanted to celebrate the culture of the Virgin Islands. And when we talk about community, talk about culture, we talk about who we are as individuals. AARP really stands at the forefront of that. We've been around for 60 plus years. Locally, we've been around a little over 30 plus years in the territory. And we've been doing a lot of work when it comes to empowering Virgin Islanders through our advocacy work. So we're extending it out because we want people to know that it's not just for the 50 plus, but that we start actually with 18 years old of getting members. So when the opportunity came about, like I said, we were like, absolutely, what better way for us to have our name out there? I'm considering you guys one of the greatest troops for this year. And, you guys have, when you talk about stay in power, I'm saying where you started and then being able to celebrate one of your founders, which is Moose, you said his name?
Yes.
And seeing his name live on and his concept of what it is to have a party on the Carnival Road. So kudos to you guys for doing that and really celebrating him and celebrating who we are as independent. So, what does it mean, to have AARP to be a sponsor, and the other sponsors as well, because I don't want it to be something where people think that we're the only sponsors, because this work could not be done with just one set of people. You have the 400 plus, members, and then you have some amazing sponsors who decided that they wanted to put their name behind it. So, start first with AARP, of course. Hint, what it means, but actually just having these amazing sponsors to be a part of this event with you.
So, when having AARP as a sponsor, we was excited. We was, you and I, and we was kind of anticipating and waiting. And we were very excited because our number goes from 18, we accept 18-year-old with a band, coming off the road, 18 to 65. So
you want to talk about the other sponsors that you have?
Yes, so we Cardo, this is our first time sponsorship with Cardo. And one of our colleagues, he works there. So, he was the one, instrumental in getting that sponsorship moving. Performance, he's one of our sponsors all the time. So, it's a given, and of course, Prince Limousine Service, that's my husband's business. And he was our number one sponsor, for years. So that's why we are so thankful to AARP, for coming on board and making this the first, but not the last.
Not the last. And you have some others as well? Or?
Yes, we also have some others. Precious Jewels, again, they give us, little trinkets that we can give as gifts and stuff. Napper is one of our longtime sponsors as well. And Sweet Hospitality, again, last year. So we always develop a relationship when we start, like we just started, and we keep going. So once we, they become our sponsor, it's a given the next year, we know for sure.
Awesome. So I just want to kind of backtrack to talk about kind of like how we started to be a part of What a Party. So actually in 2025, AARP had an initiative where we wanted to really show folks locally, but it was a national initiative about protecting Social Security. So AARP Virgin Islands, we had a block party, and we actually had it out at Yahaven Grand, and it was all about protection of Social Security because we see the importance of having that. And we wanted to do something different. And I called Vita and I was like, listen, I've seen some of your girls on the route, and I've seen these amazing costumes that you have. If they can be our showgirls or our, welcome, our greeters for that night. And she graciously said, absolutely, at no cost. And I said, something, I really want to see how we can continue to work. Thank you from last year. And this is our way of showing our gratitude for you stepping up and saying, I will definitely send my girls. And they did an amazing job. Everyone loved taking the photos with them. So again, when we talk about the fact that this is our first on the route this year, but we're gonna be here next year and the years after that. So we're looking forward to Saturday and seeing your young ladies and young men and older and mid-aged people on the road. But thank you so much. I don't know if you guys have any party words.
Well, we actually, like you just said, seeing the older, you're younger. We have a slogan, and it's "You are not alone." Wonderful. So on the route, we have everybody.
Thank you so very much again. And it's gonna be what on the streets come Saturday?
It's gonna be a party.
A party. Nothing but a party.